Public polls across Europe show the economic crisis is shaking the European Union to the core. And many European political observers link the continent's weak economy with intolerance and rising levels of racism, xenophobia, and anti-Semitism.
The last economic and financial crisis, which started in 2008 and has become a crisis of the institutions all over Europe.
The crisis is pushing the population to the right.
Oh yes, yes, of course. The crisis does that. You can see that in Greece. You can see that in Italy in a way, and particularly in Britain.
Public surveys show that extremism is growing across Europe, and it's reflected in the rise of nationalist right-wing political parties, even among such one-time EU loyalists like Sweden, where in the 2010 general election, a far-right political party, the Sweden Democrats, for the first time crossed the 4% threshold in Malmö, the third largest city in Sweden.
I've been to Malmö out of another reason, not to visit the Jewish community over there. You have a Lord Mayor who's nearly an open anti-Semite. And it's so bad there that the Jewish community leaders are asking everybody from the Jewish community who can afford it to leave Malmö.
Nationalism still plays a role, and nationalism is only under certain conditions compatible with democracy, whereas nationalism and populism goes hand in hand always. Look at what happens in Hungary, for example.
It's a bit more difficult in Hungary, because in Hungary the party that is governing has a 2/3 majority, so they can even change the constitution, which they have started to do in one or two cases.
This is a right-wing party.
This is a right-wing party, right.
It has been for hundreds of years that Jewish people have been scapegoats. And this is what's going to happen now at the moment.
Are you referring to what's happening in Hungary, for instance?
Yes, there you talk about. I mean, if you look at the president, I mean, who's completely right wing. I mean, he's not only talking about Jewish people, but he treats Sintis and Romas like animals. I mean, for him, these are not humans.
Do you think the EU should take measures to make sure that these nationalist fanatics are not in power?
Yes, of course they should.
And of course, the fact that we have an unemployment level that is absolutely unacceptable of the generation below 25 years is making things even more dramatic and more difficult.
Unemployment is the #1 problem in the European Union, especially among those under 25. And as the recession deepens, the jobless rate hits record levels with 12.1% unemployment. 1 in every 4 young people in the European Union is out of work. This is Wilson Ruiz for Jewish News One in Germany.